Yeah, so me and my friend Skyler are here and we're talking about Movember. We're both raising money. You can kind of see the mustaches on our faces, the little caterpillar on mine. Um, and in the spirit of Movember and talking about men's health and raising funds, I wanted to touch base with some of my friends across the country who are all raising money for this really exciting cause. And you know, guys talking to each other about mental health is really important, and I thought this was a cool avenue to do this. So for those of you who don't know me, Skylar and I have known each other for a long time. Kind of grew up in similar circles a little bit. Me, him, and my older brother Josh had quite the shenanigans when I was in high school, and yeah. So I'm living in New Brunswick now. I used to live in Alberta, and Skylar's in Alberta, and I've been doing Movember. This is my second year doing Movember, and now I'll turn it over to you, Sky.
Uh, I'm Skyler. I'm in Medicine Hat here. I've got a team that I'm doing Movember with this year. We're the marvelous MHC Mustachios. So
Amazing.
I'm sure my group would have loved to be involved in this too, but it's kind of impromptu. Uh, so I learned about Movember back when it was just no shave November, and I always sported a beard, so I'm like, I never shave, and I didn't really get involved. And over the course I watched it and started becoming mustaches, and I wasn't so sure about it. And I think the thing that got me involved at first was I wanted to try out having a mustache, but I needed a good reason because I was a little insecure about it. I mean, some people you got the 70s porn mustaches, and everyone says or makes those comments. I participate, and I continue to participate because I'm a guy that's struggled with mental health in the past, and I know that those resources, like just mental health resources for people in general, are scarce at times, and ones that are directed towards men are even more scarce, and men have a particular issue sometimes just coming forward and acknowledging that they have these issues to begin with. So I raise awareness, raise money, and going forward, I just hope to continue the discussion.
I heard about No Shave November years ago, long before I could even grow a mustache, and
I remember that.
Most facial hair. And I think it really came into the forefront of my mind a couple of years ago when my older brother Josh began fundraising, and I would see some of the things that he would post on Facebook as he was gathering money, and he just shared publicly about how challenging it was when our grandfather passed away, and we had talked about that, and we had gone through that experience, but to kind of witness him sharing that publicly in that way kind of got the gears turning, and I was pretty encouraged by that. And so last year, admittedly in 2020, I wanted to begin, but 2020 was quite the year, and I wasn't in a place where I was confident enough to do it, and so I made a commitment to myself in November of 2020 to begin in 2021, and so yeah, I've been going at this for 2 years, and similar to you, I've struggled with my own mental health issues, and dealing with anxiety, and it's challenging. And to be a man, growing up, there's a stereotype of needing to be strong and deadpan, and to not let anything phase you, to not really, I guess, feel in a lot of ways anything other than anger or like hysteria, laughter, kind of just goofing off and stuff like that. So yeah, I think I definitely feel like it's been important for me through my own processing to kind of almost, I guess, like kind of accept where I am in my life and my struggles, and to be able to show compassion for myself, and realize that being strong is also being honest and feeling the things that I feel, and to work through them, and to have people to rely on and to chat with.
Yeah, I really like how you brought up that thing with your brother and how that encouraged you, because that's really what guys need to do. We need to be like more open, sharing these things. We are all going through it, and it shouldn't be like, oh, I'm just going through this, I better hide it and press on because those guys seem fine. No, we all experience these things at times, and it's normal, and the discussion around it should be normal as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, and everyone has their own story, or whether that's something that you've personally dealt with, or you're personally and currently dealing with, or it's somebody else, or it's another person in your life who you kind of witness, and it's an opportunity to support them. What was the first kind of Movember experience where you started talking about men's mental health?
Well, the first year, like I said, I kind of wanted to just try out a mustache, and it was also gave it my all, fundraising. But I'm not sure how much I engaged in that aspect, because I think I'm still learning a bit more about the organization myself. But for my second year, like last year, I researched Movember, like the website and everything. I checked out how much they keep of the donations to run the organization, opposed to how much donations go out to the charities and are actually used for what we want them to be used for. And I was really surprised. I can't remember the numbers right now, but I was quite surprised and very thought it was very reasonable what they were keeping and how much of your donation goes forward. So I went hard fundraising last year, and I decided to start focusing on the mental health aspect, because that's just is one thing that I struggle with. Like, I don't think anyone's arguing that, hey, we should, prostate cancer is bad and we should find a cure for cancer. But with the mental health aspect, that is still a discussion that some people just don't get. Like, I've heard tales of even the administration here suggesting that mental health was just a made up thing, or the well-being for it, and that people just need to exercise more. So there's a lot of misinformation out of there, and really what we need is just people to approach things through a lens of compassion rather than judgment. Don't you want to be the person that's compassionate, not the person that just adds one more of those problems?
In that same spirit, when I started fundraising last year, like I thought of my beard as kind of a safety blanket. I kind of grew up feeling insecure about my looks, and I just loved and felt so much pride in how I looked with the beard. And
razors are so expensive.
and it was just awesome, and I just felt so confident with it. And so then the thought of, oh, I'm gonna shave it all off and go completely bare on my face was anxiety inducing. And so I decided to compromise in connection to what was being communicated through Movember. It's like, mow your own way. And so I just decided to shave the beard, and I just left the mustache. Having that compassion and having that security for myself, I don't think I would have been able to participate. But this is something that was accessible for me in order to start participating and to start contributing and fundraising for mental health and for men's health. Where do you want to see this going? Like, what's your hope going forward with Movember?
That's a really good question. I'm not sure how much I've considered that. So far this year, I've thought about keeping my mustache longer. That's about it. But honestly, I like to try to just be a person that's open and willing to communicate with people regardless of the time of year it is. I'm not somebody that would ever shy away from having a supportive discussion with somebody about mental health, or even if it's just like a normal discussion, around it to shed more light on it. So I'd like to just continue doing that forward. As far as what I'd like to see happen with Movember, is it just become a thing for fun? Wouldn't it be awesome if at some things like this aren't necessary, that we don't need to do some performance-ship aspect of something in order to bring awareness to something that we've already started to accept? That's my ultimate hope for this, and a lot of things like it. And it's not that the discussion will end, but that it's not necessary to put on a performance to get it to start it. That it's just
right.
it's normal. And like, the fundraising aspect, have it not be required, have the supports there. There's nothing ever wrong with helping support things like that through your own initiatives. But to have, like when the blood banks, they put on things saying they need it rather than saying, we could use it, but we're good.
I hope that I personally am able to continue these conversations beyond just this one time. And yeah, it's a process. Finding other ways to get involved and finding other ways to kind of integrate it into my life. I just hope for myself to kind of continue on having conversations with folks and being supportive and compassionate.
I wrote a post on some stoicism today, and I was just focusing on the idea of what's within, focusing on things that are within our control and accepting the uncertainty of the things that are not within our control. So
Cool.
going forward, all I can do is what I can do. I can make sure that I'm somebody that's available, that I am willing to have these discussions. I can't change what's going to happen on the large scale of the world or what Movember does as an organization. But, every day I get to choose, the man I'm going to be and how I'm going to present that for others. And,
that encourages a lot of hope within myself.
I'm glad.
Cool, man. Appreciate it. Thanks. And for those watching and kind of tuning in, we'll have links to our campaigns if you'd like to contribute to either one of ours. It's all going to the same place. We're not on a team, but we are friends, and we just wanted to support one another. So if you can,
you're an honorable MHC mustachio.
Oh, thank you. I'd be delighted. Sky, did you want to say anything else?
I think you pretty much covered it, Jake. I'm excited to be doing this. I'm looking forward to finding more ways to fundraise throughout the month. And we need like a cheer or something. Go Mo!
Go Mo!
No, but different.
Awesome. Right. Thanks, pal.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you, Jake. Take care.